Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Live at 4. Did you see the open there?
Happy April, everyone.
April Fools.
Yeah, I think our editor had a little fun.
It isn't the way it looks outside today, fortunately.
Thank goodness, yeah.
We have a busy show today. Dr. Zorba Pastor will be along as well.
That's right. We'll let you know when it's time to call in if you'd like to talk to him.
But here's what's making news this Monday. Jamie Perez will introduce us to Wisconsin's first cannabis sanctuary.
While the president continues to threaten to close the U.S.-Mexico border, experts say it would be catastrophic to the economies of both countries.
And the Jussie Smollett controversy continues to simmer. Demonstrators for and against dropping the charges rallied today.
Let's take a look outside today. A little on the cloudy side, and wow, is it windy.
It is a little breezy out there.
Oh, Madison Golf Course is open today.
Just make sure you're playing downwind. April showers right on time. Dana Fulton is in the backyard with the latest on the weather. Kind of a brown gray day.
A little gray outside and very, very windy. Now this morning, of course, these wind gusts weren't too bad for us, but in the afternoon, it has just gotten so gusty outside. Hopefully you haven't lost anything in the breeze today. Now, looking at our Doppler track, it is just cloudy for us. We may see some showers come through tonight. We actually may see some more rainfall really almost every day this week. We're starting off April a little drizzly for us. 51 currently in Madison. Our wind sustained speed at 17 miles per hour from the southwest for us, but we are seeing wind gusts in the mid-20s, even up to 30 for some areas. 51 in Madison, 53 towards Lone Rock, and 54 in Mineral Point right now. So temperature-wise, we're just hovering close to average today. It's quite a jump from where we were at yesterday. Our Sunday was a little cool outside, so about 12 degrees warmer outside, but it is windy. 26 miles per hour in Platteville right now, 29 in Janesville. Again, that's sustained wind speeds, so our gusts are even higher. As we head through the next few hours, our temperature is actually not going to drop down too much overnight, but is going to stay windy until we get into early tomorrow morning. Then we'll finally watch our breeze calm down just a little bit, but we will talk more about what's ahead for the week in just a few minutes. Right now, we'll take a look at what's going on the roads. Good news, not seeing any major accidents to report at this time. This is a look at 39 and 90, right at 94. Traffic seems to be rolling along okay on the Beltline, both east and westbound right now. Actually green on both sides. That's always rare. I don't give it much longer, though, until we start seeing a few more brake lights. Around Janesville, things look okay as well. From Verona to the Beltline will take you just about 8 minutes, 7 minutes from Oregon to the Beltline, and then from Springfield to University Avenue, quick 5-minute drive for you this evening. If you are in a small car or a high-profile vehicle, good luck, because it is very windy outside for us right now.
That's why it's all green. The cars are just being pushed by the wind.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Dana, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. First at 4, marijuana is not legal in the state of Wisconsin.
But a new church here in Madison is saying, yes, we can, Abyss. Through religious means, Jamie Perez spoke to a group that identifies as Wisconsin's first and only lawful Rastafari cannabis sanctuary. I think that's probably safe to say it's the one and only.
Yes, that's right. And just to be blunt, the people who started this church here say the First Amendment actually protects them from the state laws and allows them to do this. The First Amendment states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. On top of that, as the Pew Research Center reported, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in 2006 that a religious group can use an illegal drug in their worship services. So this group also has their documentation from the state of Wisconsin legitimizing them as an organization. They are known as the Lion of Judah House of Rastafari. Marijuana is just a part of their religious sacrament. They do not sell it. It can only be gifted to members of the church who donate to them. They give out cards which serve as your promise to the church to sincerely and legitimately, without a guilty mind, use cannabis as your sacrament to the religion. The founders of this church here says it helps with their spiritual practices.
We all use cannabis to meditate, and also for the religious purpose of uplifting our mind and our body and our spirit.
And they just moved into their space on Mifflin Street a couple of weeks ago, so it is still pretty empty in there, but when they're finished, they plan to have an entire inventory of marijuana products for religious purposes. So coffee, tea, edibles, oils, and more are on the way. I did reach out to the Department of Justice to get their own legal explanation and thoughts, but they have not gotten back to me just yet, so I guess we'll see how this just plays out from here on out.
So this is legit?
Apparently, yeah. Until the DOJ comments otherwise, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
All right, thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. Governor Tony Evers could be facing a nearly $2 billion shortfall heading into his second budget. The analysis by the Legislative Fiscal Bureau shows the state would face that imbalance heading into the 2021 to 23 fiscal year if the state maintains all of the spending commitments in current law, such as honoring tax credits for Foxconn Technology Group and funding 2/3 of K-12 education costs. In the final stretch now before Election Day tomorrow, the Madison mayoral candidates are making their final pitch to win over voters.
Mayor Paul Soglin and his challenger Satya Rose Conway will face off tomorrow. Rose Schmidt followed them on the campaign trail today and tells us what you need to know, Rose.
Yes, well, Mayor Paul Soglin says he's done this before in his 3 stints as mayor, and that's why he's confident he can do it again. Whereas Satya Rhodes Conway hasn't run for mayor before, but she's confident her experience on the Common Council and working with mayors across the country made her well prepared for this new role. Soglin spent his morning speaking as a guest on the Spanish language radio station La Movida, then headed off to speak to students on the UW campus. He told me his top issues are addressing inequity, housing, and making change happen in Madison. Meanwhile, Rhodes Conway named housing, rapid transit, racial inequity, and preparing for climate change as the issues she's advocating for. She's spending today campaigning the old-fashioned way, knocking on doors on the north side. Both are spending today telling voters what they have to offer.
We really need a change in Madison, and I am a collaborative leader. I'm prepared to work with the county, with the school board, with the surrounding communities to take on the toughest challenges that Madison is facing.
I've done it. I've made a difference. We've seen the consequences of that in terms of the improvement. And my opponents, theorized about it and had a chance on the city council, but really didn't produce anything.
Rhodes Conway is backed by Dane County Executive Joe Parisi, and Soglin has the support of Sheriff Dave Mahoney. Both candidates say they're hoping for high turnout for a spring election, and they both said turnout among young voters will be especially crucial during this time.
And the weather should probably cooperate. That's usually a factor on Election Day.
Yes, hopefully. It was pretty nice outside today.
No excuses. All right, thanks, Rose.
President Trump threatened to close the southern border this week, but White House officials say they haven't looked at what that could mean for trade with Mexico. Experts say a border closure could cost billions of dollars in trade. Natalie Brand takes a closer look from the White House.
A top White House economic advisor says he's unsure of the impact closing the southern border would have on trade and the U.S. economy.
There's a lot of stuff that moves, and exactly how Customs and Border Patrol would deal with that would be something that we'll have to confer with them about.
President Trump has threatened to shut down the southern border this week due to the influx of thousands of Central American migrants seeking asylum. Experts say a closure could be catastrophic for U.S. and Mexico's economies.
The bilateral trading relationship with Mexico is between $550 and $600 billion a year. If you think you're going to stop that trade at the border, then you're looking at almost $2 billion a day that you're going to be losing in lost trade.
While Republican Senator Martha McSally says she believes there is a crisis, she also says the border should stay open.
I believe we need to keep legitimate trade and travel flowing through our border ports of entry.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen today ordered a Border Patrol surge, the redeployment of hundreds of Customs and Border Protection officers to the border. She also wants to expand a policy of having asylum seekers wait in Mexico while their court cases play out. Over the weekend, the State Department took steps to cut off U.S. aid to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Eliot Engel said in a statement, "If the administration moves forward with this misguided plan, I'll do everything in my power to stop it."
On Capitol Hill, Natalie Brand for News 3 Now.
And over the weekend, the State Department took steps to cut off U.S. aid to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. President Trump is expected to visit the southern border on Friday.
The controversy surrounding the decision to drop all of the charges against Empire actor Jussie Smollett is showing no signs of dying down. There were demonstrations today both for and against the decision. The Chicago Police Union held a protest against Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx, whose office dropped the charges. Fox's supporters were also on hand for a counter rally, and civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson also spoke out in Fox's defense.
Seems that there is a trial in the newsroom rather than the courtroom. You got what people get all the time. Prosecutors all over America say it.
There has to be accountability when people commit a crime.
Fox had recused herself from the investigation because she had discussed the case with a Smollett family member. In an op-ed in the Chicago Tribune, she said she welcomed an outside, non-political review of how her office handled the matter.
Community leaders and fans are remembering Grammy-nominated rapper Nipsey Hussle in his Los Angeles neighborhood. A shooter opened fire outside the rapper's South Los Angeles clothing store yesterday afternoon, killing Hussle and injuring 2 others before fleeing in a waiting car. Hussle's devastated fans came to the crime scene today to leave candles and remember the artist. African-American leaders in Los Angeles are demanding the person who shot and killed Hussle surrender to police.
Turn yourself in. Turn yourself in. We want the community to turn Nipsey's murderer in, because to us, this ain't snitching. It's about being held accountable for your actions.
Raised by his mother and grandmother, the rapper admitted in interviews that as a teenager he was involved in a gang, but music turned his life around. His album debut was nominated for Best Rap Album at this year's Grammy Awards. Hussle eventually started investing in his troubled neighborhood. He owned the strip mall where he was killed. Police still have not identified a motive in the shooting.
A vigil was held last night in Columbia, South Carolina to honor 21-year-old Samantha Josephson.
She truly was the love of my life.
She had a personality and a presence that lit up a room.
This was the last time the University of South Carolina senior was seen early Friday morning after a night out with friends. Police say she got into the wrong car when she called for an Uber. Hunters found her body later that day, 65 miles away. Police later pulled over 24-year-old Nathaniel Rowland after spotting him driving the same model car Samantha got in the same area. After a brief foot chase, he was arrested. Inside the vehicle, officers found lots of evidence, including window cleaner, bleach, and the victim's cell phone.
Further examination determined that there was what appeared to be blood present in the car. The child safety locks were activated on the door that would not allow someone the means of escape.
Rowland will remain in jail until his bond hearing. He's charged with kidnapping and murder.
In an effort to be more transparent, Facebook is rolling out a new feature that explains how it organizes your app's news feed. The Why Am I Seeing This Post tool will reveal which factors influence the ranking of posts. Those factors include how often you interact with posts from people, pages, or groups, and the popularity of the post. The new feature will also help you personalize your news feed, including which posts you see first and a shortcut to unfollow certain users.
That's not an April Fool's joke, right?
I've always
That's
wondered.
a legit story.
That is kind of cool.
There's more to come tonight at 4. The live-action remake of the Disney classic Dumbo opened in theaters over the weekend.
Is it worth seeing? We'll find out from our film critic, Will Loper, when Live at 4 continues. Welcome back. You might start seeing more hybrid and electric vehicles on Madison streets.
The city of Madison is phasing 60 hybrid and electric vehicles into its fleet this year. That includes 36 hybrid vehicles for the police department. City officials expect each hybrid will save about 1,000 gallons of gasoline per year, allowing the city to recoup the higher upfront costs of the vehicles in 2 years. The fleet superintendent says he hopes the city's move will get others to consider hybrid and electric vehicles.
This is something that can be replicated by other fleets, by the public, and that's the main reason we're doing that. By buying, up to hopefully 60 hybrids is where we'll be at the end of 2019. We're not solving this problem by ourselves.
The move to hybrid and electric vehicles is a part of the city's goal to have net zero carbon emissions by the year 2030.
A big rally on Wall Street as China's manufacturing sector recovers. The Dow Industrials added 329 points, closing at 26,258. The Nasdaq Composite Index was up 99. The S&P 500 gained 32.
Welcome, baby Dumbo. We're all family here, no matter how small.
That was a clip from Dumbo, one of the newest movies to hit theaters.
Is the film worth seeing, or does it trip over its own oversized ears? Here to let us know what he thinks is our film critic, Will Loper. Hi, Will. What do you think?
Well, this new live-action remake of Disney's Dumbo has its share of soaring, inspirational moments, but a predictable and uninspired script keeps it from truly flying high. So we begin with a small ramshackle circus headed by Danny DeVito. The circus is struggling until a baby elephant is born with giant ears and they learn it can fly. Times are good again until Michael Keaton shows up and offers to bring Dumbo and the rest of the circus crew to his amusement park, Dreamland. Now, this Dreamland has a haunted house, it's got a future land. This is basically Disneyland, and Keaton is playing an evil Walt Disney. Now, if you've seen movies before, you can probably guess whether or not it was a good idea for the small family circus to sell out to the big corporation. In fact, you'll probably see every plot point coming in this movie. And Tim Burton doesn't bring a whole lot new to the table. Still, every time Dumbo takes flight, the movie really takes off as well. Those moments of magic don't happen quite often enough, and small children might get a little restless during the movie, but it's still worth seeing, especially if you were a fan of the original growing up.
That cast, that director?
Yeah, you would think this is a slam dunk. This movie would be amazing, but it just falls a little short.
Well, the elephant is very cute.
The elephant steals everyone's heart. Yeah, it's so cute. The visuals are amazing when you got Tim Burton and Disney behind it. It's beautiful to look at. Just needed a better script.
So you think kids would be bored in this movie?
Yeah, I could feel the sort of atmosphere of the theater.
The restlessness.
Little kids especially. So if the kids are a little older, they'll get more enjoyment out of it.
Okay. All right, so what's the rating?
This one, 3. Danny DeVito's the Penguin and Michael Keaton as Batman out of 5. Sadly, bringing Tim Burton and these two back together, there just weren't enough references to Batman Returns.
At least one would have been fun.
Yeah, bring one in.
Little wink, wink. Yeah. All right, next week.
Next week, we've got Shazam. A 14-year-old boy turns into an adult superhero, just like Tom Hanks in Big, except with more lightning bolts.
Oh, that sounds funny.
Yeah, it's getting good reviews.
A little more Shazam.
Yeah,
all right, well,
looking forward to that.
See you next week.
Yep, thanks, guys.
We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Take a look at this. A tornado struck Colorado over the weekend, damaging an RV storage facility. Surveillance video shows RVs being whipped around. A couple were flipped and thrown. The owner estimates damage to be upwards of $500,000. The National Weather Service says they're still working to determine the strength of the storm. That's why you don't want to be in a trailer.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You do not want to be in a trailer during a tornado. They're not anchored to the ground. It's incredibly dangerous.
Even mobile homes. Mobile homes.
Mobile homes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Not heavy enough.
Not heavy enough at all.
It snowed after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Colorado.
Well, we're having a tough time getting the spring temperatures here as well, especially it's been cool and windy.
Cold weekend.
It has been a little chilly, but spring, of course, is in full bloom in our nation's capital. Beautiful sight. The cherry trees on the tidal basin reached their peak today. The trees were a gift from Japan, and 2,000 of them were planted along the Potomac River on March 27, 1912. The blossoms should remain in full bloom for the rest of the week. Those are beautiful shots. Mark, you were saying you want to go
Let's hop in the car.
Yeah, that's on
we got the whole week.
It's on my bucket list, too. I'd love to see that.
I bet it smells great, too.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, and it's just, like you said, it's just a quick walk around, but it's a nice place to walk.
We'll get flowers eventually.
Eventually. It'll
July,
might be a
August.
few more weeks, maybe. April showers will bring May flowers, hopefully, fortunately. We're going to talk about the shower chances ahead for this week right after the break. So we are officially at April 1st. Of course, yesterday, the end of March. We're hopefully leaving the cooler air behind us. We're also leaving the ice along the lakes behind us. Ice off officially declared by our climatological office yesterday. Mendota picking up 86 days of ice this year. Monona at 97 days of having ice officially on. Of course, we did have that break back in December where we had the ice on, off, and back on. Now it's off again. Our average is about 104 for both, so both lakes actually just a little beneath average for the number of days that we had ice on this year. And the longest duration, just over 160. 160 on the dot for Monona and 161 in Mendota, but that was way back in 1880. So it's been a minute since we've had that long of a season with ice covering the lakes for us. So the ice is off. I'm not going to say that it's swimming weather for us, but we're steadily moving towards that trend. Of course, I know everyone's excited for summer to get out on the lakes. Today we had a high of 51 officially, right at average in the low 50s, starting the day off about 28, pretty close to average for the morning as well. It is cloudy and windy outside right now. Our Doppler track's actually quiet for us, but we do have the chance for some showers to come through tonight, mainly after midnight, as another area of low pressure crosses east and drags a cold front just right across the southern edge of the state. Being so close to that area of low pressure, our pressure gradient in the atmosphere is pretty tight for us, and that's why it is so windy outside. Our breeze coming from the southwest, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. Again, those gusts picking up just a little more. So overnight, we're going to stay mostly cloudy. We do have the chance for those showers to come in by early Tuesday morning. We may see a little snow mix in there with the rain, but that snow chance is mainly north and west of Madison. We're not all expecting that snow chance for us. Tuesday afternoon, we get a little break in the showers, but then we do have another chance for some showers to build back in by the end of Wednesday. Wednesday morning, we might see the sun for a little bit, and then the shower chances develop yet again later in the day and move us into Thursday. So overnight, plan on our temperatures falling just a little bit. We have that rain chance for us with those snow chances mainly north and west of Madison. We'll be starting the day off in the mid-30s in southern Wisconsin, and we're expecting this rain chance to really start to dwindle into the afternoon. We may actually get a little clearing, not expecting much though. Temperatures will be in the low 50s for afternoon highs. Overnight Tuesday, we may see some isolated showers yet again. Temperatures will fall a little bit heading into Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, we start off with some sun, and then the cloud coverage will build in for us. Susan was actually just asking, are we expecting a lot of rain coming through with this? Now, I keep talking about rain almost every day. The good news, it is just a light rain chance for us, maybe some drizzle mixed in there, even as we get to the end of tomorrow. So with the rain chances tonight and all of tomorrow, we're only going to pick up a 1/10 of an inch or a few tenths of an inch for most of the area. I know at this point everything's fairly saturated. We don't need any more rainfall, but having some lighter rain come through, that's better than the bigger amounts that we could be dealing with. Overnight low of about 35. We're expecting a cloudy sky with some scattered showers, and that mix is north and west of Madison for the chance tonight. Not going to see any accumulation, but may see a few snowflakes swirling around. Our winds will diminish just a little bit, down to about 5 to 10 miles per hour, rather than being so gusty like where we're at right now. Tomorrow, plan on a high of about 53. AM shower chance, and then some sunshine expected later on in the day. Our breeze will be coming in from the west at about 8 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, we do have the potential for a little bit of mix as that rain comes through, since our temperatures will drop close to freezing for early Thursday. Not a great chance for us, but maybe see a few snowflakes. Temps will be a little above average for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we drop back down again on Thursday. Then we steadily climb back up. Right now, the weekend's not looking too bad. A chance for some showers early in the morning on Saturday, early. And then on Sunday, it'll be in the afternoon for us heading into Monday. But temperature-wise for this weekend, we're in a good place to start talking about the 60s. That's where we're going to stay heading into next week, also on Monday in the mid-60s for us. We're getting there slowly and steadily. We're getting there.
Just get through this week, and we should be okay.
Yes. It seems like our temperature trend is just climbing, of course. So
it's April.
It's April.
No, I saw those pictures in the April Fool's pictures in our open today.
Yes.
It just sort of gives me chills. You know, it's like,
literally.
No, that has to be.
We can eat a little longer.
Trauma from that.
Yeah, that was a rough one. All right, Dana, thank you.
Thanks, Dana.
Well, China is the world's biggest buyer of recycled materials, but the country has stopped importing a lot of it, and that has some communities cutting back on recycle programs.
Experts say a lot of us are also recycling the wrong items, and around 25% of it is actually trash. Tony DeCopel takes a look.
On a recent day in Orlando, 3 brave souls agreed to haul out their recycling bins and let us take a peek inside with the help of Mitch Hedlund from Recycle Across America.
We're going to take a look. We're going to do a little audit here.
All right.
Each bin contained items that, at best, were questionable.
This is an obvious one. Definitely when it has food waste in. You could rinse that and it would be better. Cardboard, yes, but normally it needs to be broken down. Styrofoam, this cannot be recycled in your community. Whatever the chip bag is, that's a problem.
Yeah, this is a problem here?
Yes. Paper is recyclable, but not this kind of paper.
It does look like it was a good dinner, though.
It was. Paper towels and napkins and tissue are not recyclable.
And if you've ever wondered where all that recycling ends up, there's a good chance it's at a sorting facility like this one, owned by Waste Management. 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, its workers are catching all our mistakes.
Nice to meet you.
Mike Taylor oversees recycling operations here in Elk Ridge, Maryland.
These hard-working men and women are looking for the items that shouldn't be in the system in the first place.
Workers here target what they call tanglers, which can get caught up in the sorting equipment. Things like plastic bags, coat hangers, and garden hoses. Other recycling programs refuse items like yogurt cups and shampoo bottles.
What should not be in the recycling?
We shouldn't have the plastic film in our recycling operation here. Foil, we don't like foil.
No foil. Egg carton.
Egg carton, the styrofoam egg carton isn't part of the program. When in doubt, throw it out.
Recycle Across America advocates for standardized labels on both home and public recycling bins, spelling out exactly what can be recycled in each community. The labels, in use here in Orlando and coming soon to other cities, may be our best hope for pulling recycling out of the dumps.
When in doubt, throw it out.
But that's interesting, isn't it? I didn't realize you could throw out paper plates and shampoo bottles.
Egg cartons, styrofoam.
Making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, me too. Whoops. Well, China now turns down anything that's not 99.5% pure, uncontaminated material.
Yeah, and that's why it matters.
It's
that
right.
We have to do it correctly. Still to come tonight at 4, it's time to meet our pet of the week.
Marissa DeGree from the Dane County Humane Society is here with Leonardo. We'll find out all about this big guy when Live at 4 continues.
This
There's a live look at Lake Mendota. I can
What?
tell you the crew team is on the lake, both the men and the women.
Don't fall in.
Since the weekend, they've been out there.
Yeah, the lakes are
Very
open.
chilly.
All right. It's time for Potentially Yours here on Live at 4.
Marissa DeGroot is here from the Dane County Humane Society with a whole lot of dog. Hi, Marissa.
Hi.
Tell us about this guy.
So this big handsome guy is Leonardo.
Leonardo.
And he is a 3-year-old Lab Pit Bull Terrier mix. And I'll tell you, I'm absolutely smitten with this one. He's been hanging out in my office for the last couple weeks, so I know he has just this wonderfully sweet personality. He'll come over and just lay his head on you, and you just feel the whole weight as he just kind of leans in.
Aww. And he's a younger guy.
He is a younger guy, which means he's also quite active. He loves getting out for nice long walks. And he's very, very well potty trained. He will let you know the minute he needs to go and
Really?
is very, very diligent.
He was surrendered.
He was surrendered to the shelter, and so we do know a little bit more about him, that he would do well in a family, that if you do have other dogs, maybe a nice slow introduction to them, and maybe not the really, really younger kids, because sometimes Leonardo doesn't realize how big he is.
How big is he? How much does he weigh?
Oh my gosh, he's got to be somewhere like 50 pounds.
At least.
At
50,
least,
60.
maybe 60.
I like the little white on the end of this.
I know, that's cute.
The end of his ear.
Dipped in paint.
But he's as you say, he's going to need some exercise.
Yep, he's going to need to get out there and run around, but I'll tell you, he does just love to nap too. He will just sack out in the middle of the day and just snooze for a while as well.
Yeah, he's a great guy. You can just tell. All right, buddy. So you have something going on campus.
Yep, so if you're looking to get out and enjoy some almost spring weather, Sunday, April 7th is the Canine Campus Crawl being held by the UW pre-vet students to benefit Dane County Humane Society. So it's a 2.5-mile run walk that you can do with your pup.
Oh, that's great.
It's supposed to be nice on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about our pet from last week, Toby?
Oh, our pet from last week, Toby, did get adopted.
Oh,
we are
great.
so happy for Toby.
Toby was a rabbit?
Toby was one of our pups.
Yes.
Oh, that.
You remember?
Yep.
The little rascal
The little
dog.
rascal's dog, yeah.
All right, let's get Leonardo a home here. Big guy.
Oh.
All right, Marissa,
Oh,
thank
thank you, baby.
Oh, yeah, big kisses.
Good to see you.
If you're interested in adopting Leonardo, check out all the other critters available. Go to the website, giveshelter.org. 838-0413 is the number to call.
Well, it's time to get your medical questions answered. When we come back, Dr. Zorba Pastor will be taking your calls. Call now at 270-9933.
Zorba's standing by at his office in Oregon. Hi, Zorba. What are you talking about today?
Hi. We're going to talk about autism and the importance of screening for it at a young age.
only thing you really need to know as you're hopping on the roads is how windy it is outside. This is a look at our traffic cam at the Beltline at Park Street. The camera is shaking, of course, because of those wind gusts coming on through on the eastbound side. We're seeing quite a few brake lights, but no accidents. Westbound seems to be rolling along just fine. Westbound a little more delayed. Actually, the closer you get to 39 and 90, eastbound starts to slow down just after John Nolan, down to about 21 miles per hour, but it is still moving along slowly and steadily. Around Janesville, things look just fine. And if you're traveling along 39 all the way down to Beloit, it's green the whole way. About 6 minutes from Verona to the Beltline, Oregon to the Beltline, 7 minutes, and 5 minutes from Springfield to University Avenue. If you're traveling northbound on Janesville to the Beltline, about 26 minutes. Sauk City to Middleton, quick 18-minute drive. And southbound Sun Prairie to downtown will take you just about 17 minutes this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thank you. We see your 9 pregnant nurses, Maine, and raise you. A South Bend hospital has 11 different employees pregnant at the same time. All are nurses at Memorial Hospital who work either in the childbirth or postpartum units. They decided to go public after a story out of Maine went viral, which featured 9 pregnant nurses at the same hospital. Luckily for this hospital and its staffing situation, the nurses' due dates are spread out so they won't all be on maternity leave at the same time.
Wow, what are the odds of that?
Oh, yeah, we're taking your calls today for Dr. Zorba Pastor. The number 270-9933.
And while we wait for your calls to clear, it's April. It is Autism Awareness Month. An advocacy group is launching a new awareness campaign about autism. And Zorba joins us from his clinic in Oregon to tell us more about it. Hi, Zorba.
Hi, good to see you guys.
So tell us a little bit about what Autism Speaks is doing.
Well, one of the issues is being screened for autism. And if you look at the CDC and the recommendations for autism, they recommend that, first of all, you have your usual developmental screening when you see your doctor, when the baby sees the doctor, to see whether or not the baby is developing properly. But there is a specific autism screen that should be done at 18 months and 24 months. Those are 2 times that children should be screened for autism. And the reason is the earlier you pick it up, the better off it is. And the problem is not all medical practices actually screen for autism at that age. Why? Difficult to say, but they want to raise awareness for the parents, for the doctors, for the nurses, for everyone, that autism screening is important. We know that autism is on the rise. We're not exactly sure why. It's not just a sampling error, but we also know that if you catch it early and begin to work on it, your child is much more likely to develop in a much more meaningful, easy way. So it's important for people to know autism screening at 18 months and at 24 months, that's the way to go.
The earlier the better for detection. All right, let's go to the phones. We'll start with Jim in Madison. Hi, Jim.
Hi.
Hi, which question?
I'm thinking about taking CBD oil, and I was wondering how it would, if there's any interaction with medications I'm taking, like Crestor, Zetia, or Metoprolol.
Sure. Well, first of all, difficult to say because there's very little research on CBD oil. One of the reasons is that the federal government has made it impossible to do it. You've got to jump through all these hoops because they put marijuana in the same class as heroin, cocaine, and crack. And so the research is minimal. On the whole, I would say we haven't seen much in the way of interactions, so just anecdotally, I think it's probably just fine.
But CBD oil doesn't have any marijuana in it.
No, but it still comes from hemp, and the research basically has not really been there because the feds have said basically it's hard to do research on it. I think we're going to see more research over the next few years.
All right.
All right, let's go to Sandy in Stoughton. Hi, Sandy, what's your question?
Hi, I'm wondering, is it worth taking multivitamins when they seem to go right through you? And does CoQ10 help your joints and stop heart attacks?
Sure. Well, first of all, it's been said that Americans have the most expensive urine in the world because vitamins just go through you all the time. The latest research does not bear out that people who are mid-age and older get anything from multivitamins unless they have a specific vitamin deficiency. And so when that research finally came out, I stopped taking my multivitamin, and I no longer recommend it because it really doesn't show that it does much. Now, whether CoQ10 will do something, that's very interesting. Some of the studies show it may prevent heart attacks. Other studies have shown it really doesn't do much. If you want to take a CoQ10, though, I recommend you go to consumerlab.com, That's consumerlab.com. And the reason is you go there, it's like Consumer Reports. You have to pay your $25 to get into the site, but then they test all supplements. And you want to make sure you have a supplement that's tested, because otherwise it's a pig in the poke. You don't know what you're getting.
All right, good advice. Let's go to Mary now in Monona. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
I currently take Ativan for anxiety, and I want to know if there's something other than Ativan that would help with my anxiety.
Antidepressants are a far better drug than benzodiazepines, such as Ativan, that you're taking. So sometimes a low dose of Paxil, Prozac, Lexapro can make a big difference. I'd recommend you talk to your doctor about it. I would recommend you get off that drug and you get onto an antidepressant. They're safer, they're better, and they don't have the same side effects. They're really a far better drug, and they do a better job of it, too.
All right, very good. Let's go to Julie in Madison. Hi, Julie. What's your question?
Hi. Well, I have a question about a child being diagnosed with autism. If they are diagnosed with it by their maybe OB/GYN, probably their pediatrician or GP, should they then go to someplace like the Weissman Center to be followed up?
Well, I think if you're diagnosed, you've got to go to somebody who knows what they're doing in terms of the diagnosis. Clinical psychologist, someplace like the Weissman Center certainly is a good thing to do. But yes, the diagnosis is step one. Step two is the treatment, and for that, you need an expert.
All right. Good calls all around.
Yeah, thanks for calling, everybody.
And thank you, Zorba, for your time. We'll see you next time.
Great seeing you.
All right, we'll be right back. Bless you.
Sorry.
No, you should see a doctor about that.
I better see one.
We'll be right back with the final check of your forecast. A little breezy out there.
It is a little windy outside. Our wind gusts right now, of course, over 30 miles per hour for most of the area, right at 30 in Madison, 31 in Mineral Point, and in Janesville, 37 towards Waukesha, and about 33 in Lone Rock. Right now, our sustained wind speeds in the teens are close to 21 miles per hour in Platteville, 23 in Janesville, coming from the southwest, so it's not too chilly. But the wind just not desirable for us. Temperatures over the next few hours will drop just a little bit. Overnight will be in the middle 30s for overnight lows. It'll be cloudy outside, and of course we do have that chance for a few showers for us tonight, especially right after midnight into early Tuesday morning.
But warmer by the weekend.
Well, warmer by the weekend. Saturday and Sunday don't look too bad. Yeah.
Thanks, Dana. And coming up tomorrow here on Live at 4, UW psychologist Dr. Shyla Murgain will join us to help make your life a little better.
And Consumer Report shows us how to make dangerously dim headlights a lot brighter. That's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4. In today's Final Touch, winter came to Las Vegas.
Fire-breathing dragons held court over the world-famous fountains at the Bellagio Casino and Resort.